Why is YouTube? YouTube's been weird again. Okay, so um, I want to talk about little more about Makaria here. Oh wait, I'm not sure why it's on the screen. Um, I mean, I guess it could be on the screen. I don't think you can read it very easily though. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and move it to this screen because it'll be easier for me to read. Um, so there's a few things I'm starting to establish about Makaria's character, and excuse me for not doing this from the on screen. Is mainly because, yeah. Um, so I started to like properly dig into. Uh, see, yesterday, okay, I'm not sure how much I should be getting into making excuses for not streaming. But I instinctually want to do that. Because I was catching up on Lord Runner's playthrough, and I'm not sure, but I'm going to continually be doing that. But I really wanted to hear his opinions on like what happened, see what he did. He actually kind of I discovered something that he hadn't. I think with the uh, the whole basically serenading Capricorn. So I was sure to leave a comment to just make him aware of that in case he wants to potentially incorporate that into his review. Um, but anyway, I also once again been feeling kind of a little under the weather. Um, quite literally, I think it may be very well be the weather. Uh, but anyway, um, I figured out what Makaria's actual oath is. Um, due to the limitations of the game, her oath is Player's Handbook of Vengeance. Um, I've gone through. Actually, picked at the Eberron and Wildmount books because I was wondering if they had some additional paladin oaths. Neither of them did. Um, I think Wildmount has like three subclasses. Um, but none of them are paladin. Um, so what I found is in this book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Um, I might go into that later after I go into the. Basically, I've decided to at least tentatively decided on what her, because in D&D, if you're not aware, basically part of the character creation, some somewhat optional, but whatever. It's semi-optional. Is that you give yourself two personality traits: an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. And I'm still workshopping it a little bit, but Um, One personality trait is from the player's handbook, and everything else is more or less homebrewed, as it were, because but they follow the spirit of. I feel they follow the spirit of what these things are meant to represent anyway. Um, so the first personality trait is straight out of the player's handbook, and the only one so far is straight out of the player's handbook. And I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna leave it there or come up with something different. Um, which is the trait is I'm tolerant of other faiths and respect the worship of other gods. Um, there's a few reasons why I'm hesitant about it, regardless of um, it being a you know, for one, it's just a vanilla personality trait from straight from the book. Um, it is kind of true, but it's also very particular to her condition when she starts out. Because she doesn't really have a deity in particular that she's committed herself to. Um, at the beginning, like in this game alone, she she's waited until like she's well into level 8, maybe even level 9. I think now, you know, like 2/3 of the way through toward the level cap, to to commit herself to a particular deity. Um, I'm not sure if it will be quite the same for in a tabletop setting, but I, I do think that her tolerance in other faiths is more to do with the fact that she hasn't picked one for herself. So of course she's tolerant. She's trying to uh, partly out of ignorance, partly out of um, you know wanting to explore what the different faiths are. But I wouldn't like I could rewrite that personality trait in that, but I don't think it's a personality trait per se. Um, at that point, it's more just a story point than part of her personality. Um, so the one that I do have here that I'm gonna stick to pretty much is that I am abundantly confident in myself, and though never quite to the point of self-absorption. Or yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm taking some moments to just. I'm distracted by my body being in perpetual pain. Um, so her ideal is very story oriented. I seek to become everything my despicable mother isn't. That's Straight to the point. Um, her bond is basically Mazora, although um, more so than adding the specificity here. Um, her bond is the originally I thought that I was going to have her complicated relationship with her mother be like her bond, but I said no. It's more of an ideal because it um because it's what she is wishing to be is what she's aspiring to is becoming the inverse of her mother. Initially to spite her, but eventually to it just kind of a bit more for its own sake, or at least that's the goal. Um, so the bond is with Zora and the passionate love affair that she'd had with her when she was 16, um, and also that specifying that when her mother found out, she put a quick end to it. Um, there are other potential bond options that could be presented, like again the particular heroes who because I think bonds I see as sort of plot hooks for the DM. Um, in Raw, we're limited to one, although we're should technically be limited to one. Um, I mean, I can see for there can be a potential balance issue of sorts with regard to bonds. So I can kind of see the reason for limiting players to one bond because it's a matter of fairness to some extent, potentially anyway. Because if you have all these bonds, all these things that the DM can, if one player has two bonds and the other player has one, and another player has three, then depending on what they are, if oh I have this connection to a powerful noble or something like that. I mean, I don't know, like that's another type of thing, I guess. Because let's not even get into that. But it's a matter of the DM may be spending more time exploring all the maybe paying more attention to the players who have created multiple bond. The more bonds you have, the more the DM it may be fixating on your character and your character's background more because there's just more to explore. Therefore, just having a hard limit on how many bonds you can give your character could be a balancing thing. And granted, I see Mazora or insert other you know Cambion character, original Cambion character here. Um, it is more of an interesting thing to explore than like any connection she might have with the people who rescued her and got her out of Avernus. Anyway, her flaw, moving on, her flaw is actually in some ways multiple flaws rolled into one. Um, but I retained many traits from my upbringing in the Hells. Uh, she can be manipulative, hedonistic, and often overly blunt in a fashion that can come off as mean spirited. I'm not sure about, at least from what I've been role playing so far. Um, and I can finally get into the actual title screen. Um, um, I don't think I've actually like played her. So like, this is something that maybe I come up a little bit more now. Um, I think her being at least somewhat manipulative makes sense. Given her background, I don't know if I've ever really had much opportunity to um role play that particularly. Even if I had that in mind, um, from the start. Damn it, uh, my controller just turned itself off. Because I've been talking too long. Um, like even if I had it in mind from the start, I'm not sure how much opportunity I would have to roleplay a character who is manipulative in nature. I'm also not sure how much I can actually roleplay that successfully. Um, like I'm not sure if it would be that hard. But anyway, oh yeah, here it is. So okay, let me just put this book up so I can make sure it's in frame, although it's backwards because of the way they have things set up. Um, Touch is called and everything. This is probably the book I would recommend the most for players besides the handbook. Although if you want to jump into it, I would wait until next year when they release the updated player's handbook. Um, anyway, so here is also the Paladin of Glory is actually a tiefling. Although I think there are like I think in most of the books that show a paladin uses tiefling paladin, which is interesting. Um, so there are like I think two books that include uh, additional subclasses in particular that I'm aware of, at least particularly for paladin. One is the one that came before Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Uh, now the Oath of Vengeance is all well and good. Uh, it, out of the player's handbook, oaths is the one that I feel come closest to. Um, uh, let's just review the oath of vengeance here. Oh, this is okay. I'm looking at Xanabar's guide. So there's the Oath of Conquest, which I think is the other one I was thinking of that had a tiefling as like this is actually like I think probably one of the only examples I've seen so far of a paladin oath that is very much a um evil paladin. Um, because it's like douse the flame of hope, rule with an iron fist. I'm not even go into detail, and strength above all. There's also the oath of redemption, which I think if Whimsy were going to become a paladin for whatever reason, that would probably be her oath. And I can get over oath of redemption. I think my main. Uh, so so the uh, I think I have really like studied or reviewed the entirety of the Oath of Vengeance, but the one that stuck out to me as something that Makaria kind of violates from time to time, or at least I'm not sure she out. I mean, whether or not she outright breaks it is maybe debatable, and she is. I think at this point more true neutral than chaotic neutral. She starts out chaotic neutral. Um, But like the one that is a little iffy is always seek out the greater evil, which in a video game in particular is more difficult uh than or at least a video game such as this, the way it's designed. Um, because this game, as far as I'm aware, does not have any kind of level scaling, which that's a big debate in gaming whether or not level scaling should be a thing. Um, I think well designed level scaling can be good. Um, but it's also really hard to do. Um, but like, to me, level scaling would be like he's basically simulating the role of a DM. Because like, okay, if you're a paladin, over vengeance paladin, you know, you're always seeking out, you're always looking to deal with the greater evil. A DM can be like, okay, well that's what the player is going to be doing mostly. So I had to make sure that the greater evil that they're pursuing is always going to be throwing things at the player that are appropriate for their level. You know, a DM can do that. A video game that does not really utilize level scaling and just has everything at a fixed level can't really do that. So we had to go after a hag. Well, the cult of the absolute is sitting right there in this goblin fortress is obviously the bigger threat to the land. So by the design of the game, we are forced um to technically break our oath by going after a hag before and deal with all these little smaller things because we need to level up. We need to gain some experience before we but beyond that, I also feel like Makaria is. I don't know. Like I don't think she's even committed to the concept of vengeance in general. Like the oath of vengeance is just the one that isn't like completely committed toward being strictly speaking a goody two shoes. And like, who is she really trying to get vengeance against? I mean, her mother, maybe, but like, I don't think it's necessarily a matter of that. But anyway, here's the oath that I would actually have her take, at least in a tabletop setting. I feel that for purposes of role playing, this is probably a lot closer to the actual oath she's sworn. Ellie, please, I'm about to recite some things. I don't need you here to help me. Okay? Go off and watch your cat TV some more. And have a book in my lap, though. I don't think you wanna. Ellie, I literally have a book in my lap. Okay, you can't get up here. Suppose who take the oath of glory believe they and their companions are destined to achieve glory for deeds of heroism. They train diligently and encourage their companions so they're already when destiny calls. Hence, the oath of glory drive a pilot to attempt heroics that might one day shine in legend. Actions above words strive to be known by glorious deeds, not words. Um, it's always the first one that kind of because I think to always go after the greater evil is one that like Makaria might not always go for. Like heck, even in character to some extent, it's like there's this evil right here I can deal with. It's right in front of me. There's the evil over there. But anyway, I do think it still fits with Makaria because to her, charisma, so to speak, is a tool. She's not necessarily like one for big speeches or such things. Like she's good with words, but like she isn't one for heroic speeches or like that sort of thing. Anyway, Challenges are but tests. Face hardships with courage and encourage your allies to face them with you. Hone the body like raw stone your body must be worked so its potential can be realized. Uh, Very strength based. Discipline the soul. You must marshal the discipline to overcome failings within yourself that threaten to dim the glory of you and your friends. So these are all the features we just won't have. You can use. You have a peerless athlete as a channel divinity. You can use uh, your channel divinity to augment your athleticism. The next 10 minutes, you have advantage on strength and dexterity checks. You can carry, push, drag, lift twice as much weight as normal, and the distance of your long and high jumps increases by 10 feet. Which would be kind of cool considering how much you have to use freaking jump in this game. You have an inspiring smite. Immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your divine smite feature, you can use channel divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include yourself. The total number of your temporary hit points equals 2d8 plus the level of the class divided among the chosen creatures, however you like. Have the aura of alacrity. That means you emanate an aura that fills you and your companions with supernatural speed, allowing you to race across the battlefield formation. Walking speed increases by 10 feet. Additionally, if you aren't incapacitated, the walking speed of any ally who starts or turning within 5 feet of you increases by 10 feet until the end of that turn. When you reach 18 level in this class, the range of the aura increases to 10 feet. Have glorious defense and living legend at 15th level and living legend at 20th, but that does not pertain to this game, even if we. You can glorious defense allows you to, if you have a creature you can see within 10 feet of you, hit by attack roll, you can use your reaction to grant a bonus to the target's AC against that attack. Plus equals your charisma modifier of a minimum of 1. If the attack misses, you can also it's a variation of Sentinel, really. If attack misses, you can make one weapon attack against the attacker as part of this reaction. Provided the attacker is within your weapon's range. Use the feature number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, and regain on spend to use it when you finish your long rest. Living Legend, you can power yourself with, which is 20th level, so what? We'll probably never even see it even if I play Makaria tabletop. You empower yourself with the legends, whether true or exaggerated, of your great deeds. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 1 minute. You are blessed with an otherworldly presence, granting any advantage on all charisma checks. Once on each of your returns when you make a weapon attack and miss, you can cause that attack to hit instead. Well, it's a 1 minute thing, which actually that's like 10 turns. So you can potentially you could use this to basically successfully hit an enemy. So also, if you roll a saving throw, you can use your reaction to re-roll it. It's not quite is overpowered as a legendary resistance, but you can basically re-roll it. Once you use the bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you've expended a fifth level spell slot to use it again. So anyway, also okay, so I've learned from Warrunner's playthrough, and we may find out eventually. I think maybe it's a little glitched, maybe it's delayed. Hopefully, that Shadowheart actually dyed her or bleached her hair. Um, and I think I either missed her explaining that, or it's not come up for whatever reason. Well, that was unusually quick.
Be honest.
Oh,
What
here
do
it
you
is.
think of the new look?
I love it.
Well, I'm glad someone does. Perhaps I'll get used to it. I have a lot to get used to right now.
There we go.
Of course. I thought
Epic
you'd
is.
never ask.
Well, Lazelle's. Of course, she has something to say. Um, yeah, she had maybe cut her hair a little bit. Yeah, I think like she still has the ponytail, but I think it's a little different. Because I think is with her original haircut was like a ponytail into like little circles. Now I gotta look up her original look. I need a picture that shows her. I'm not sure her hair is that different. Okay, some of the pictures, it's more. Yeah, I think it's like the hair kind of has a bit of an oval shape between the binds. And here it's more of just a straight. Maybe I don't know. I'm not really sure how different it is. Like, I don't think the length is that different, but like someone describes what she did as cutting her hair. I think it's Will.
Love
Sure
Shadowheart's new look. Softer, less severe. It suits her.
Hey,
parasite communes with Lae'zel's. Her heart races as she learns of the events inside the astral prism.
Orpheus, Gith's only son. He lives. It is not the Geich visitor that Vlaakith would destroy and Voss would set free. It is Orpheus, the blood of the mother, the prince of the comet.
Mighty powerful prince if he can block out an ill-fit hive mind.
Even more powerful still. It said he could bring 1,000 Githyanki to their knees with one command. Listen close. The Emperor spoke only in half-truths. For you to know the tale of Orpheus, you must know the tale of Gith and of Vlaakith. Long ago, when we rose up against our Geich slavers, Mother Gith made for the Hells to secure an alliance with the archdevil Tiamat. Tiamat gifted the Githyanki our red dragons. Gith remained in the Hells, and Tiamat's envoy proclaimed Vlaakith our ruler. The first Vlaakith of many. It is Vlaakith 157 whom my people now call Queen.
$157, that's a lot of Vlaakiths.
Yes. Our current queen has claimed undeath and reigned for 1,000 years. But it was the first whom Orpheus tried to slay. Orpheus is Gith's only son. He led his mother's own honor guard in a coup against Vlaakith I. It was Kithrak Voss himself who slayed the prince in vicious battle. Or so the Varshas teach us. Yet the Prince of the Comet's been with us, subdued by that repugnant illithid. Should Orpheus go free, he would tear Vlaakith's empire to pieces and build new glory from the scraps.
And Voss was right. Orpheus is the seed of Vlaakith's demise.
The seed and the sower. Every word Voss spoke, he spoke true. Orpheus is the living proof of the Queen's lies, and the living weapon that conquered our Geich slavers. One word from his lips, and the people would doubt. 2 words, and they would rage. 3 words, and they would bow to the true heir. If the Githyanki are to be free, the Prince of the Comet must lead the way.
Okay. So I think it's clear this is probably what Shadowheart was talking about earlier. That she was planning.
Gods, Shadowheart looks like a stack of gold. Never thought I could get so excited about someone's forehead, but here we are.
I was concerned when I saw Shadowheart creeping about with a blade in the dead of night, but it was just to cut her hair, it seems. It suits her.
There we go, that's the line. Maybe she cut her bangs?
There's no more radiant sight than that of someone who's learned to love themselves anew. Shadowed in name, but no longer in spirit. It suits her.
That's weird. That like just popping up again. You know, we literally know what night song.
Oh, we have a new look for a new Shadow Heart. Nice as it is, she still doesn't have the best hair in the camp.
She still doesn't have her
Be
full hit points.
gone, friend. I have a darling to adore.
Alright then. It's hard to say if she actually bleached her hair, because that probably would... I probably would be outside her fashion abilities.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Of course.
Yeah, I think her bangs are different. Yeah, let me look at the pictures again. Yeah. I don't think she cut her ponytail. I think she just, she cut and restyled her bangs. I mean, the question that's been going through my mind is whether her heart, Shadow Heart, has how are you?
Sure what to feel. My parents are alive, and I need to save them. I'm lucky to have you by my side. I don't think I could face what's to come otherwise.
As the front hairstyle has changed, the back hairstyle is the same. So I mean, the big question would be, I mean, it doesn't really matter much for us because the patch hasn't come out yet that allows us to restyle our character. I do kind of wish we could talk to you about the hair color change. Like, okay, is this what's happened when you don't when you devote yourself to Saloon? Or realize that you're devoted to Saloon or whatever. Not that I'd mind the new look, it's just that I rather like the current coloration of my hair. Not that anyone can see it. Although we could change that, we can just... But I would say, like, if I had the option to, like, rework my character's appearance, there's a couple of things I might consider doing. One would be, if we can change the tattoo color, we can make the tattoo from black lines to white lines. Which actually I probably prefer as a reflection of her new allegiance to Selena. Then maybe make the hair white. I don't know. I mean, I spent quite a lot of time over her hair color.
We must find where Gortash and Orin have established themselves, and take their nether stones.
I prefer your old voice. Can you speak in that? Well, apparently we're all leveling up now.
My former peers will be watching, no doubt. Waiting for my return. We should do what we can to find them. What they know could help us.
Oh, I can just level up here. That's neat. Now we have haste. That would be one of the things we would get from Glory. I think we maybe get it earlier? Oh, we get it at the 9th level. Okay, yeah. We get haste and protection from energy, so it is similar. We don't get guiding bolt, I don't think. At least 9th level is identical to the Oath of Glory. This will probably be our last level where we get spells, because the next level where we get additional spells is 13th level. Our haste is something we know regardless of whether we prepared it. That would have been useful before, but The Greater Restoration. Could use that on Shadowheart, and suddenly she'll have all her memories back. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. That's probably still gameplay story segregation. Hmm.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
And she's really rolled well for her health. Flame strike. She also has greater restoration and planar binding. I think I'm trying to just this house in for now. And that's a death level for her, apparently.
Well, that ends not as bad as it could have.
Worms Crossing, the gaping maw of the city. Nature has little control over what happens beyond that bridge.
Have you heard from Faniel since we moved on?
I have. He speaks to me during my nightly meditations. He is well. And Oliver also. At times they are one, and at others they divide. Easier for playing, perhaps. And the land thrives also. I doubt you would recognize it. Perhaps one day, you and I can both return and see it for ourselves.
Oh yeah, we're going.
Oakfather preserve you. Wherever you need me. You know where to find me.
We take Chihiro with us, apparently.
Come to bask in the glow of the Moon Maiden's sword? Be most welcome.
How do you intend to spend your newfound freedom?
I am free from my bonds, but not my duty. The dead 3 are risen. The dead 2 remain. You must face them. I will help.
Apparently we can't actually bring her into the party. Either because of a glitch or something else, I don't know.
Keeping very well, I hope?
What will you do now that your fathers are gone?
Look after my angel, of course. She's been through more than I can bear to think about. 100 years in the Shadowfell. 100 years being murdered by Sharans over and over. It fills me with a rage I can hardly contain. She's a formidable woman, my Aelin. But no one could escape such horrors unscathed. She's in my hands now, and I intend to help her through whatever's to come. We'll both of us stand by you when the time comes to put down the horror that threatens this city. We are your allies for life.
I'd like to know more about what happened between you and your father, Kevin.
I mourn the man I knew. He was wonderful. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. This was different. It was like I could see my fate in her eyes. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... and this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how or why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped. He told me we'd be together now. Said Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors that plagued my home. He's gone now. But I suppose the man I knew died when I died. The man he became, that wasn't the father I knew. The one I loved so very much.
I keep on hearing a cat, I don't know.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
Where's Annabella gone?
The girl has left to hew her own path. She left you a letter. Thou couldst read it, or thou couldst not. Such is the way of autonomy. Hast thou other business?
The use of fresh and the letter is drawn in a careful hand. Hey you, so I owe you a lot. For one, I don't know what the inside of a snake spell it looks like. For another, let me stay at your camp. And for another, you found out what happened to moms and pups. I'm on my own now, and Bone Man says it's a good thing. I just have to let the weave guide me. And as far as I can tell, it's tugging me to Baldur's Gate, so I'm headed there first. Anyway, thanks for everything. I won't forget it. Annabelle. Resonance stone. What? I really... My dad probably doesn't know how to text me. Maybe he does, I don't know. He just doesn't. Wait, I need to find Lizelle.
Baldur's Gate at last. We should find Sharess's caress. Voss will be waiting. It is done.
Probably another reason to bring her with us. Oh, we have had her with her like her with us for like 3 levels. Probably just... I'll boost her strength and constitution. We can use Graded Restoration on her. That's prepared, I think. Or do we just have it? No, we don't. Okay. Let's see. Revivify. Repair wounds. Healing word. Where the heck's Greater Restoration? There it is.
Take your...
We're able to cast it on her, so I think... Her intelligence, wisdom, and charisma are still really low. Okay. We still have Bezathist up on us. I call bullcrap. Wow. I mean, granted, like, what the Zaphis did to us is literally physically I still call it bullcrap, because it even physically damaged our brain, or damaged her brain. It still should be curable. Like, it still should be fixed. Why put Cafe? Yeah, apparently I'm not the only one who's calling bullshit on this. No, I don't want to... Yeah. Strongly disagree with is this. Greater Restoration is supposed to be your way out of these kinds of injuries. In every edition of D&D, both rules as intended and rules as written. 3.5, it even explicitly say that Greater Restoration is your primary method of recovering from the damage of a mind flayer parasite eating your brain. Or the trauma of getting it out of there. But not here. It does explicitly say in 5th edition that cures any reduction to one of the target's ability scores. It seems to me that Lauren deliberately left out that part of the spell. And actually, I didn't even realize that Constitution was part of it. Otherwise, I might have like saved Scum back to. But now it's far too late for that now. She's literally on par with us, a paladin, which I mean is kind of fine. But she probably should be a little closer to Karlak as a fighter, I suppose. I think even if we were to max out our comm, which I don't think we can at this point, It's supposed to be like 100 gold pieces of diamond dust. So we had to like get 300 gold pieces to restore her intelligence, to restore each of her stats individually. I also wish we just freaking wasted our freaking spell slot on that for no freaking effect. I'm not sure whether to. Do we have? I think I quick saved at the campsite. It was right before I blew the Greater Restoration spell, hopefully. Yep, okay, we didn't blow our...
Still breathing, despite everything.
Leave camp. Yep, okay. It's a little weird that like they make the fashionable thing magical. As good as it is magical, but like once we're out of a particular region, we just lose access to it all arbitrarily. Whatever.
Excuse me. I can't find my mum.
What's your name?
Jenna. And my cat is Grub. He's shy. I'm not. My mum is called Emery. She went to go get some herbs for her spots. She was sick, and she was supposed to come back the same day. That was last 10 day, though.
I think she gave it more than 5 coins. I don't know where she is, but here I have some coins.
Oh.
Gazelle approves?
Thank you so much. I don't have anything, and you can't do anything without any coin. I'll pay you back when I find my mum.
You could also... I wish we could do multiple things here.
Hi. I'm still looking for my mum, but, thank you for helping me. You were really nice.
Oh, That's a cat is so shy that we can't even speak of animals on her cat. I want to speak to all the kitties. Let me speak to all the kitties.
There is so much wrong with that name.
The place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family.
Danuvia! Get these squatters out of my house now!
Arthur, sweetheart, you paid me and my boys to be caravan guards, not cattle wranglers. If you want us to get our hands dirty, it'd be our pleasure. But that'll be extra.
There's no one we ever meet get along.
Not if they're trying to help themselves to other people's property. I just want to remove these unlawful interlopers from my property.
It's heartening to see a true philanthropist out in the wild.
Excuse me? I'm exceedingly charitable. Ask anyone in this wretched town. It's one thing to donate extremely generously to those less fortunate than oneself, and quite another to give away one's entire house. I'm a very magnanimous individual, but this is my home! Either they leave, or I'll make them.
Oh, we don't even know the situation yet. I don't know what's in character here. Wait, they're just. I don't know, like, of all the freaking options we have so far. Like, intimidation would be in her style, but, like, she does not have enough information to make an action here. Damn it. And that is bad, bad scripting. Or dialogue branching, or whatever the heck it was. I had to be charitable again. I'm surprised that Lazelle's the only one who approves. Like, of all the party members, like, one is surprising that she approves.
Excuse me. I can't find my mum.
What's her name?
My mum is called Emery. She went to go get some herbs for her spots. She was sick, and she was supposed to come back the same day. That was last 10 day, though.
It's so weird that Lazelle's the one who approves.
I don't have anything, and you
Is
can't
that
do anything
glitch?
without any coin. I'll pay you back when I find my mum.
The place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family.
Danuvia! Get these spotters out of my house now!
Arthur, sweetheart, if you want us to get our hands dirty, it'd be our pleasure. But that'll be extra.
Everyone come, explain your disagreement, and we shall find an accord.
I don't see why I should be explaining myself. It's my property. They are on it, unlawfully.
Look, we needed somewhere to live. This place was empty and it had walls. I've got children for tears' sake.
She is at best, like, I think it's neutral leading good. So, lawfulness is not in the equation here. The house seems big enough to share. Should be quite simple.
My point exactly.
They're like kobolds. You let one in and soon the place will be crawling with them. I'm a very magnanimous individual, but this is my home! Either they leave, or I'll make them.
Okay. At that point, maybe she consider. And she's heard from both of them. It's also probably not wise enough to like know how bad an idea this might be. Let them stay, or I'll make you leave and never come back. This is actually, we'll take all the advantages we can get, including actual advantage. Whoa. Okay, well. There we go.
Fine, fine. They can stay. Just don't blame me when they turn on you like the mongrels they are.
I respect your hustle, sweetheart, but it won't work on me. You've stepped on the guild's toes, and we'd like a little something to make it better.
The Guild, a loose coalition unifying every criminal outfit in the city under one collective rule, from cut purses to contract killers.
What?
I'd say you'll live to regret it, but honestly, I'm not so sure you'd live.
Do you see? I fought and killed an avatar of Merkel recently. I think I can handle you. We're also still like using thaumaturgy right now. We fought and killed an avatar of Merkel recently. Let's have all the other advantages that we have. Oh, that's overkill. Let's see how much overkill. Overkill, 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 overkill. 33.
You're serious? Let's forget this unpleasantness ever happened. Come on, boys. We've got places to be.
I'm not sure we have like any proof of that. But we just, and if we actually had a bag of holding, we could like. I don't know if it would fit inside the actual opening of the bag of holding. Like, if we actually had like the skull. Although actually, no, he turned back into what's his face. It would be better if we actually somehow had the head of the Avatar of Merkel. I know we have a portable hole. We just like lay it down. Like have Koch lay it down. Okay, just give us a second here. Or the giant sword, which I think was already there and left behind, so it may have still been there. Okay.
Not quite sure why you stood up for us like that, but I won't say I'm not grateful. Thanks. And may Torm keep you.
How did you end up here?
The way lots of us did. Trying to get away from the army of the Absolute. If you had the chance to put a roof over your family's heads after being on the run for Torm knows how long, wouldn't you?
When no one's telling you to leave, well, not anymore. Have all the roof you want.
We will stay. For now. I just hope he doesn't pay anyone else to come sniffing round. Thank you. And may Torm keep you.
Quite welcome.
You're the first person in this city to have our backs. Thank you. Really.
Our inspiration points are maxed.
She'll be all right. She's a brave girl. We'll get through this.
She's not brave, Ben. She's just learned to stay silent to avoid causing trouble. Good thing you sorted that out. I was this close to chucking a knife right between that trollop's eyes.
Okay. That's locked. Okay. Did he like lock himself? Did the little guy lock himself in there?
Now we don't have to leave. I'm gonna build a big house for all the rats. It's gonna be really fancy. You'll see.
Okay.
We're lucky there's still decent folk about.
That's a caravan ox. Okay. I think we probably need to pass another perception check.
What do you get out of this?
You're being a big
You have anything you want for supper. All the treats your tummy can handle. We told our son that this is a holiday to spare him the truth. We don't have homes to go back to.
Can't talk. I'm sorry. The little one needs all my attention. Nearly there now. You can see the city. Up on the hill.
See it. It's up there and we're down here.
Turn back, citizen. No passage in this direction.
Why not?
It's bloodier than a butcher's backyard out there. Piles of dead absolutists, and a few of our own as well. The cultists assaulted the gate, armed to the teeth trying to break in. They nearly had it too, before the Steel Watch intervened.
Steel Watchers, that's some sort of fancy new rank of City Watchman.
A little more than that. You'll see for yourself soon enough if you head to the city.
Hey, that seems worse here. Lots of refugees.
What in the hells was that? Never felt an earthquake in Baldur's Gate before. What the hells?
Please just go home. You're ruining a perfectly uneventful posting with this nonsense.
The Flaming Fists are supposed to protect this good city, but they allow trash and vermin to take our homes and goods. Oh, another visitor, I see. Listen, we keep letting the likes of you in. Soon, there'll be no room left for any of us true Baldurians.
The army on your doorstep will say Baldurians and refugees alike, we must stand together. Or... I think that refugees aren't strays. They're people and they need help.
Another bleeding heart. Piss off and take it elsewhere. Refugees can't stay here in Rivington. They're a danger to all of us.
You've got diseases. Any one of them could be a spy for the Absolute.
Back off and return to your homes. That's an order.
Why don't you protect us instead of these stuffy outlands?
You did me a real favor clearing all those ghouls out of Moonrise. That old bonebag Ketherick had some fancy junk stashed behind all the cobwebs and piles of gore.
You looted Moonrise Towers.
Didn't you? Figured we only got the scraps you didn't have the strength to carry. Still,
True.
we got some decent stuff. Made a nice change from picking through your dusty pockets.
What are these fancy items you have on offer? Anything magical?
Would I try to fool a sharpie like you? Have a look.
Orbit token. Boon of the Raven Queen. The Raven Queen does exist, although you can polymorph into a dire raven. They're like regular ravens, only dire. Claymores Wild Strike, we also gain Featherfall. Arrow of Aberration Slaying. Got a Pugilist Kirklet. Oh no, like all please. I have a bunch of jewelry.
Stay away from trapped chests.
And mimics. You can thank me for that.
Oh, hi! If you're here to save me again, I don't really need to be saved right now. Good thing, huh? Bye.
Donations?
I'll take a donation. Donations for what?
Do you know advice? The refugees. If you don't have anything to donate, you can get going.
You can donate 500 gold.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm sure your contribution
Still
is
disapproves.
appreciated.
Moonrise Towers at last. Make no mistake, I will have answers about these gay tadpoles.
Easy, Lazel. We need answers, yes. She catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Perhaps that doesn't translate. I don't know if Githyanki have honey, or vinegar, or flies, even. Let's just show some restraint.
I'm capable of restraint, just as you're capable of raw fury. I trust we'll find reason to exercise both here.
Interesting that dialogue triggers. That banter triggers, even though we're way past Moonrise Towers now.
take your complaints to them.
We'll be on our way.
That's an excellent idea. We can go straight to the source.
Give them a piece of your mind, pieces of your body.
We all failed perception.
Stelmane is dead. This does not bode well.
Are you a kindly bird breeder with a love of letters? She lived near a park of easily snatchable pigeons. Either way, we at the store couriers to send and to serve, offering double price for any half-able pigeons you find. Half-able pigeons you find. Poster browser are right for more information. No, pigeons preferred, but canaries, finches, parrots, or any other household birds are also accepted. Athletic chickens are negotiable. Oh, that's a
Refugees.
that's a Warforged.
Halt! By orders of Lord Gortash, refugees are no longer allowed in the city. Turn around.
I have no idea who you're talking to. Let me through or I'll kill you. I'm not a refugee.
Well, do you have the means to support yourself?
I can take care of myself. They're asking me to pay them 200 gold to get through. I could just show them, here's my big bag of 6,000 gold, okay? See? Do you want me to count it out for you? I can quite take care of myself.
Right. Article 30.1.5 of the Council's decree on extraordinary wartime measures. I am confiscating that. The city thanks you for your contribution. Your name?
Daisy 2 Shrub Fluffington. You're scamming me. Give me my money back. There's not even an I don't think we had a failed insight check, so we had to kind of assume, even if we did, I doubt we'd pass it. That's a 13. Well, 12, technically. My name is Makaria.
Well met, citizen.
Your parasite stirs. From the construct, you feel connection, resonance.
What in the hell's that thing?
I am a steel watcher, citizen. Here to serve the people
Warforged.
of Baldur's Gate in the name of Lord Enver Gortash.
State your business.
An immutable elf compels me to enter the city. This is really perception now. Really? Wouldn't it be more persuasion? I mean, I think we have proficiency in both. Actually, John, I think we have proficiency in persuasion and intimidation. I think mainly. if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not sure about deception. I don't know where my character sheet went to. There's Whimsy's character sheet. Yeah, we do have a proficiency, which is stupid because this should be persuasion. Like, regardless of what our oath is, even. Like, Oath of Vengeance, which is, at least in game, but there is an evil we are pursuing here. And we have sworn an oath to pursue the greater evil. Therefore, we have an oath that compels us to. It is true that we have an oath that compels us to enter the city. Why is this deception? Like, I would argue with my DM about this, okay? Like, even Oath of Glory, there is glory to be had. Maybe it's not immutable, I guess, but that's probably not how we would word it exactly if that part of it is deceptive, but we don't need our bonuses here.
Eyes open, body still.
Behind the Watcher's gaze, a presence awakens. You are seen. You are known.
Whoa! My engine, it's almost, I don't know, buzzing. Like it's paying attention.
Your party's prior transgressions are reflected in its stare, as witnessed by the cult's ever-alert, scrying eyes. It has heard the howls of slaughtered goblins. It has seen the deep shadows of Grimforge, and the stone floors left bloodied. It knows the cold walls of Moonrise Towers, and the cultists who fell there. The Watcher speaks directly into your mind with a voice like poisoned honey.
You are marked for special treatment. Not simply an enemy of the people, but an enemy of the Absolute. Come quietly, or die.
Great. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not sure if I should freaking. This is the kind of thing I freaking hate in. Like, this feels like railroading. In a way. Like, I just want to go and explore the city. I don't want to. I don't want to combat right now. I don't want to be freaking arrested and taken into God's know what situation right now. We're not an enemy of the people. I think we might consent to arrest here. I'm not sure what else other choice we really have, because I doubt we can just fight this frickin' thing and that'll be all. Like, oh no, it's gone rogue. Like, we're beginning fighting like relatively, as far as we know, innocent guards, and then we're gonna be wanted fugitives in Baldur's Gate. At least if we're arrested, we could potentially talk our way out of it. Hopefully.
Your peaceful surrender has been noted. You will be transferred to Worms Rock Prison, where you will await further sentencing.
Eat this, you pile of junk!
Front page material.
Villains, take heed.
God damn it all!
Recovery is imminent.
Bastards, or I'll have your heads!
Okay. Divine intervention? I'm not sure if their textures are glitched or what. Or if that was just the shadows on their face.
Are the gods truly this petty?
And the other person with you.
Enjoyed it. An apple a day keeps the absolute away.
Up there. Danthalon's dancing axe. The Harper safe house Jahira mentioned.
Huh. Can we knock? Can we jump? Still locked. Oh, we still need a Astarian with us.
Don't give me trouble now.
This is kind of difficult. I'm not sure who we... Oh, she's in her camp now.
Hi. It's me, Yenna. You remember me, right? You were really nice to me before, and, my mum hasn't come back yet. She might come later. I don't think she's coming. Could we maybe stay here?
Come back in 10 years. Of course you could stay, Anna. Pick a spot and settle in.
Yes! You've got a fire and everything. I can cook really good. Whatever you want. Thank you, thank you.
We'll have something to say.
Men, women, children, all barred from entry. A damn travesty. A decade ago, Baldur's Gate would have welcomed any and everyone seeking refuge. Who would take in these souls, if not the Jewel of Baldurin?
What a shame. Baldur's Gate has a responsibility for people in need.
As long as Gortash is in charge, they'll be left shivering at the gates. All part of the plan, of course. Step 1. Create an army and order it to march on the city. Step 2. Shut the gates in the name of security. Step 3. Bask in the applause. Gortash hasn't made Baldur's Gate safe. He's made it a prison. And when his army breaks through, the people will have nowhere to run. To make this city a safe haven, we'll need to bathe Gortash and his allies in their own blood.
Okay, Lizelle. Freaking...
I'm listening. Shook. You believe you can survive without me, as you say.
I have, and I'll continue to. Starion seems to still be invaluable for his skills at larceny.
I brought my own paring knife. Now I just need some ingredients, and I'm gonna make something really good, I promise.
Well, now we can talk to the cat.
I'm just a cat. Please, talk to Yenna.
Not going to hurt you, kitty.
I don't like talking.
You know what happened to Yenna's mother?
Nothing good, I don't think. She was so very sick. Maybe she made like a cat and went off to spend a last life.
May I pet you?
Please don't.
Alright. How is Yenna treating you?
Yenna is my best friend. She's kind. Help her, not me.
Nice talking to you. Please tell me if Scratch mistreats you. I'll be sure to tell him off. I mean, Scratchy is a good voice, so.
Hope you're keeping well, friend.
Okay. I have to figure out what the heck Asterion is here. Alright.
Worm's Crossing, the welcome mat of Baldur's Gate. This is it. I'm almost home.
Are you worried about Cazador finding you at your back?
I won't lie. The thought hardly fills me with glee. Even with my newfound advantages, he's still an incredibly powerful vampire. But he's arrogant too. If he does hear I'm back, he'll try to take me and expose himself in the process. Then I'll be able to strike.
Do you think you can beat him?
It's something of a gamble, true, but if I can win, if I can beat him, it would be worth any risk. So yes, I do worry about facing him. But if we can get his attention, finding the ritual's location will be much easier, and that could give me the edge I need.
Who's in my party?
Darling, I thought you'd never ask. Lead on. What now?
He's 2 levels behind. The blur might be a good spell for him. That could be a good skill for him, or just strengthening his dexterity further. Ability improvement always seems to be magical ambush. While you're hidden, your targets have disadvantage on saving throws against your spells. Oh, so that's basically magic stuff.
Still alive, so that's progress.
How eyes open.
I don't think we need guidance, but it's a cantrip, so.
No time to rest?
Ellie? Hey? What are you trying to tell me I need to feed you now? Or are you just gonna keep me company until it's actually time to feed you? Hey. Hey. Pink and leaf green dye? There we go.
Another quake. What's going on?
It's the Elder Brain. There's something happening to it.
The neighbors are talking out their asses. Besides, our pantry is
That's
full.
interesting.
There's food shortages. Rationing. We can't leave anything to chance.
I got it. And thanks.
That Cheris's caress? Okay.
An apple a day keeps the absolute away.
That is Freakus Flophouse.
I found so many victims for Cazador here. They're the kind of people no one would ever miss.
Let's.
something? Oh, darling, I'm hurt. It sounds awful.
I'm listening.
You think the master plans to expand his territory? Take Canopy, or say maybe even Ark? I don't mind it, honestly.
Well, I do. Which means we're getting real rude. Pleasure your fine lady. To feel her fingers and claws in pure ecstasy.
Darling, it's very leather-like.
How do we get to Sharas's caress?
Let them see you taking charge of your pleasure.
Oh, here we go.
You must hear me, devil. I will do whatever it takes, give you anything you ask.
There is only one thing in this world that I desire. You do not have it, and you never will.
The Kithrak. What deal would he make with this devil?
You must help me, Raphael, for the sake of my people.
Hush now, Voss. These guests may not know it yet, but they want the same thing that you do. And unlike you, they have something of value to offer in return.
Lae'zel, Talak Magir. The devil holds the key to freeing the Gith people. Right here, right now. You could seal our fate. Whatever you discuss with this devil, I must hear of it. Find me below in the tap room, once you're loosed from his claws.
I'm glad you came. Not to my door, not yet, but to the final reckoning. One more thing before we begin, though.
Okay.
For the first time since the Nautiloid, your mind is clear. It's unsettling.
I feel empty. What did you do?
I gave you back your privacy by shutting that illithid in your pocket out of your mind. It can't hear us.
Huh. What's the catch?
I think we probably said that at the same time. Right. Would she trust the elephant more than she trusts a devil? I mean, I'm not sure she'll say it out loud. I'm not quite sure. Billy, if you came here just to be grumpy, I mean, I can feed you if you want, but you can't be on my lap and have me feed you at the same time. That's well. Well, that's the way to treat your feeder. I need to feed this kitty, or she'll growl and hiss at me some more. What? What did I just tell you? We need to get down so we can go give you your supper. Yep, put everything over here. Fresh flour. I'll probably be taking a break shortly for my own supper, but I think I mean, the only reason she says she trusts the elephant more is that the elephant has done things to help her, kind of. Then speak freely. Tell me why you brought me here.
I brought you here because I'm true to my word, and I can make all of this tadpole business go away. Which means you and your lovely friends can remain blessedly free of tentacles. Let us speak plain. I'll admit, you've impressed me. I wasn't sure you'd make it this far. But no matter how far you come, you're still on the road to ruin. A road that leads directly to a confrontation with the Elder Brain. At best, it will kill you and everyone else in this city. At worst, it will assimilate you, and you won't have enough free will left to even wish you were dead. You have the key to destroying it in the palm of your hand, though.
The astral prison?
In a manner of speaking. But it's the one inside the prison that you need, not the Illithid, the Gith. I can give you the means to break him free.
Speak, devil. We're listening.
Well, his guards tried to kill me. He seems dangerous. Why would you want, or why would I want to free him?
To Illithids, yes. He would gladly execute the Emperor. But to you, he will be a friend. After all, you're at war with an Elder Brain.
The Emperor is the only reason I'm still alive.
No. Orpheus is the only reason you're still alive. The Emperor is abusing the Gith for its own ends. And it's doing the same to you. You're nothing more than the beast of burden that will transport it to the Elder Brain. An ox requires food, and the occasional beating to keep it moving. You are simpler. The Emperor's words serve as both carrot and stick.
Perhaps it is true that Orpheus would ally with you against the Elder Brain. But if he proves uncooperative once free, you may have to kill him.
Like, two of them. We do have the power of save states. Also, we have the sense that we have a DM who isn't just going to present us with a path, especially one that would be as involved as fighting our former ally, which just ends in Orpheus killing us and going about his own thing. I should have done a hard save if I would know we had a choice like this coming up. But it is like literally the devil we know, and the elephant that feels like elephants. I think are chaotic. Not that we really know. I mean, this particular elephant being free of an elder brain is probably a little more, well, probably more chaotic than most. Um, the thing is that despite her disdain, or somewhat disdain for her mother and everything she represents, and by some extension everything that the hells that everyone in it represents, she knows devils well enough to know that they are, or at least can be trustworthy. They're trustworthy to a point, and we just have to figure out what that point is. I might have to like just roll to like determine how much she knows about elephants in general too. I don't think we've. Oh come on! I mean, granted, Lizelle could tell us. Lizelle could definitely advise us. I'm gonna roll for Lizelle. Oh my god, what the hell is up with this dice? I'm just gonna friggin' pretend we rolled with advantage in the first place. That. Okay, these dice are loaded. Like, I rolled a 5 for Lizelle. Then I rolled a 7 and a 1. For Lizelle, and her intelligence is hampered because greater restoration doesn't work the way it should. Alright, I think if I were a DM in this situation, I would just rule that Lizelle knows enough about elephants to tell us that they're not particularly trustworthy. I should be looking at the monster manual. I should be looking in the player's handbook. I should be looking at the freaking monster manual. I think I have elephants bookmarked at this point. Maybe. No, I have hags bookmarked because I'm stupid. And vampires because I was running Curse of Strahd a few years ago. And Displacer Beast because I just ran into a Displacer Beast recently. Ish. Dragons, Dryads, Driders. I actually have GIF in here. Intellect devours. Doppelware? What the heck? Why does it go from Hydra to intellect devour? There's a frickin'. I mean, there's an elephant on the cover of. There's no elephant on the cover of this thing, but elephants are an iconic enemy of the frickin'. Oh yeah, it wouldn't be elephant. It would be mind flare. Sorry, it's under mind flare. There you go. That's what they're officially called. Oh, mind flayers are also lawful evil. Huh. I mean, this one might be more chaotic than most, considering it is away from the hive mind, or shielded from the hive mind. I mean, Lizelle would be, at the very least, advising us against trusting the frickin' mind flare. Right, it would be a matter of like how much we trust her at this point. But again, it might even be better that we rolled low in this case. Because yeah. Or potentially worse, depending on what our choice entails. But he is the devil we know, and we also know devils in general, so. This is just like a very weird choice morality-wise. And probably a choice that only Makaria would end up making. Which is maybe the point. Like, Whimsy would be like conflicted only in the sense that it's between a mind flayer and a devil. What would Whimsy roll here? Let's just. I mean, granted, I've already rolled several times, but. She would roll a 2. Interesting. She have a lot of bonuses, but I think she probably. I have no idea. I think the dice are just telling me to be stupid about this. Whimsy would probably still make the opposite decision. suppose it might be worth taking the risk. How do I do this?
The Orphic Hammer. An artifact capable of shattering the chains that hold Prince Orpheus is held securely in my House of Hope, even now.
Quite convenient that you have exactly what I need.
Isn't it just? And it's even more convenient that you can give me exactly what I want in return.
There it is. Of course.
What are you hoping to get out of all of this?
Power. You free Orpheus, and in doing so save the city, the Sword Coast, perhaps the whole world, and your own precious skin too. And you give me the crown that dominates the Elder Brain. And you, Lae'zel of Kalir, want to free the Forgotten Prince, do you not?
I want nothing more.
Then it is settled, is it not? A crown for a hammer. A bargain of a lifetime, Lae'zel of Kalir.
Very tempted. But do you care to tell me why you're so eager to get hold of that crown?
Power. Ancient and full of wonder. I have craved it ever since the arch-wizard Karsus created it, long centuries ago, and brought doom to the Empire of Netheril. That was the great age of humanity, and Netheril's flying sky cities were the apex of civilization. I was there the day it all fell apart. Entire cities plummeted from the sky like angels with broken wings. The screams, oh, the screams. Hundreds of thousands of people watching in horror as the ground came up to meet them. It was not a happy meeting. And Karsus was responsible. Not driven by malice, but by ambition. He forged a crown imbued with all the powers of magic. A crown that would make any who wore it a god. Men cannot contain so much power. The crown destroyed its creator, and his empire fell with him. Karsus's folly, the bards and scholars call it. I call it hope. The hope of creating a better world, and the perils of unchecked hubris. I knew then that the folly of mortals could be the triumph of devils, and that I could use that crown to unite the Nine under one Archdevil Supreme. Me.
Zariel wouldn't like that much. But even I'm not so desperate to spite her I'd put the hells in this bastard's hands.
Would Makaria? You make a fantastic Archdevil Supreme. Let the crown use the powers to myself. To rule the Nine Hells. For the sake of good. Which probably wouldn't work. What makes you think you succeed in using the crown where Karsus couldn't?
I am no mortal, and I do not fail.
If you don't fail, how come you didn't get hold of the crown way back when?
The archdevil Mephistopheles snatched up the crown and squirreled it away in one of his vaults. He's not more than a frigid archivist. So much power and potential kept inert. He made a miracle into a museum piece. I raged. But only for a decade or so. Then I waited, ever watching for more than 1,000 years. For a mistake, a mishap, a misadventure. And these chosen, who have caused you so much trouble accidentally, did me a favor. They brought the crown back into play.
Must really annoy you that the mortals managed to steal the crown when you couldn't.
Yes, it does. Especially when I see what a bloody mess they've made of their whole scheme. They must have raided Mephistopheles' vault. Impressive, I must admit. But they'll be dead soon. If you don't kill them, the Elder Brain will. It doesn't have feelings in the way you'd understand them. But it seems rather angry. It is inevitable. When you destroy the brain, and you will because you must, the crown will be yours for the taking. And when that moment comes, you give the crown to me. In exchange, I give you the hammer now.
A simple transaction, it seems, but it's more than that. He's offering you an alternative to the mind flayer in your head. Take Raphael's deal and you could free Orpheus. With Orpheus free, you would have no need to rely on the Emperor. But there's no guarantee that Orpheus would be on your side. And if you take the deal, you'll have to fulfill it. You'll have to deliver the crown of Carsus to the devil himself. He claims his ambition is to unite the Hells, but can he be trusted to stop there? Do you trust him more than you trust the Emperor?
Skvar! We should do as the devil asks. The Prince of the Comet must rise again.
Oh boy. I mean, the DM is telling us way much more information than we probably would. I don't know. Like, we don't have the wisdom, but we do have some intelligence. I think we might. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've been spoiled a little bit, but there may be other ways of getting the hammer. Yeah, like the DM said, there's no guarantee that he will stop at the Hells. power does not corrupt it, it just certainly enables, and it would enable him to do quite a bit. I'd rather destroy the crown and risk it falling into the wrong hands again.
How short-sighted. Much better to put it into the right hands. Hands that will ensure it is removed from this world. And it's the only way you can ensure that you remain part of this world.
Ellie. What's your deal? Huh? Are you just adoring me because I fed you, or are you wanting more? I mean, I know I need to eat too. Ellie, are you encouraging me not to accept a deal? Deal? Or no deal? Ellie says no deal. Sorry, Raphael, no deal. I'm leaving.
I won't stop you. But time is running out. So, don't stay away for long. If you see reason, I'll be here, waiting. Right up to the moment the world ends.
Oh no, we went invisible.
The means to loosing the Prince of the Comet was within our grasp, and you refused it. Why?
Guess we could take the hammer from the cross of hope. Because we don't need it, we could just take the hammer from the House of Hope. Or at least attempt to.
I wanted to follow the open valley, the easy way out. You chose the brambled path.
I tend to do that.
It. And I admire you for it. We must speak with Voss. Then we find our way to Raphael's House of Hope. We'll take the Orphic hammer and use it to smash the true heir's bonds. Yisk Githkar Tafki Crashet. The Githyanki will be free.
Okay, let's...
There you are. I thought I'd lost you. Something was blocking me from hearing your thoughts.
I'm sorry, Ellie. I kind of need my arm. And I'm gonna be going to make some food in a little bit here. You know. I'm trying to decide what to have. You'll probably want me to make something I can share, don't you? That's probably why you're so concerned. It's not because you want me to have my proper nutrition. Or anything. To be honest. I mean, both of these are honest. Ellie, could you please just wait? It'd be a tinge of... Ellie, can you please... Hey, you're being very rude. No! It's nice to have a moment of peace and quiet.
I can understand that. There's reprieve in solitude. But it's concerning that something could intervene like that, especially when we are so close to the Elder Brain. Do you have any idea what it was?
I think we don't. It was the Elder Brain. It was trying to take hold of me. Let's see what the difficulty class is before we... Oh, this is high. I mean, we have a good amount of inspiration to burn here. Only need to use one.
Then the situation is worse than I thought. If it read your thoughts, it knows exactly what your intentions are, and it is already plotting countermoves to stop you. We must press on. I will bolster your mental defenses. Let us hope that allows us to regain some of our lost advantage before it finds you.
It's funny, we actually get I think the House of Hope scene is going to be interesting.
Tell me you took the devil's deal. Tell me you will free Gith's heir.
Not particularly interested in packing of devil's voice.
Skaketh. Orpheus will be free. There is no cost too high to unshackle my people.
How about what's a powerful crown in trade? Who knows what chaos he might sow?
No more than Vlaakith will sow in Tunarath and beyond. No more than the Geich will sow across every plain. There is nothing I won't do, nothing I won't give to free Orpheus from the prism. The marks I bear are proof enough of that. But you are the one who carries the astral prism. You are the one who must free the prince. Find a way to retrieve the hammer and free Orpheus from the prism. I will assemble his remaining honor guard and plan our next actions. Together, we will yet free the true heir of Gith's blessed empire. He will free us from Vlaakith and lead our Kithraki against the Geich. Istik, I will wait in the underground. Seek me when you have the hammer in hand.
Orpheus sensed the tadpole before, and his guard attacked. Won't he attack if we free him?
The Prince of the Comet aches for Githyanki liberation more than he abhors Geich. He might seethe when you free him. He might gnash his teeth and slander your name. But he will see reason. I promise you.
The idea of Raphael might keep the Orphic hammer.
A devil of Raphael's stature does not simply make camp on the shores of the Styx. He will have made a sanctuary for himself, a lavish one too, one that caters to his many vices. He must keep the Orphic hammer there. Every house place has an entrance, Istik. Even those in the Hells. You must find it.
You are wasting your time and mine. Our true enemy is the Elder Brain. Focus your mind there.
Okay. I wonder if it's detected that we're using a mod that we're not even really using. I have to say that it will enable us to use achievements again. I'm not sure how exactly it works. Um, and I'll be back later tonight to play a bit more. But until then, there are a bunch of things you can do that'll take a few seconds of your time, as well as other things that are a bit more involved. But of course, all of that is entirely up to you, and regardless, I thank you very much for watching.